It's a Tuesday night matchup for the Otterbein Cardinals and Wilmington Quakers. The Cards hope to continue their momentum to get victory number 21 on this season. Head coach Monica McDonald has clinched the Cards' 5th straight winning season. Success has definitely caught on to this program. It's the Cards and the Quakers coming up next.
Up the water wash for three. Nylon for Tommy Water Wash. Throw one Fairchild into the beginning. He can make the catch. Oh, he does.
Our kids played hard and played together.
Sizemore looking for the end zone. Trey Fairchild makes the catch. Touchdown.
Like I said, this is the first stop on a journey. Let's learn from this. If you want to win, you got to play hard.
Hello and welcome to the Reich Center here at Otterbein University, where in just a few minutes, your 14th ranked Lady Cardinals will take on the 1-15 Wilmington Quakers in a battle of OAC foes. Thank you for watching OTV's broadcast of the game tonight. I am David Kinder. Joining with me on the floor is Jacob Barker. Jacob, how you doing?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Not too bad. Well, Jacob, this is a team that is not short of star power anywhere you look on this roster. Last Saturday, with the victory over Mount St. Joseph, Coach Monica McDonald's girls got their 20th win of the season, securing their 5th straight 20-win season, one of college volleyball's best dynasties, and one of those great stars is number 21, Annie Junger. She leads the OAC in kills per set, had 14 of them against Mount St. Joseph. Talk about what a tremendous talent she is to this team.
Well, when you have 301 kills, 20% of the kills on the team, I think that says a lot about her dynamicness and her dynamism. She's everywhere on the court. She's always making the big hits. Wherever the ball is, she's headed right for it, no matter whether it's on her side or the opposite side of the court.
And playing alongside her is Tabitha Piper, who coming into this one leads the OAC in hitting percentage. She's another great player. Talk about the different type of talent she brings to the floor every night.
Well, I'm not sure if there's one player out there that's smarter than Tabitha Piper is, especially when it comes to fooling the opponents. You see her make all those sneak shots during the games, and what's so tricky about her is that her expression does not change one bit. It's never changed, and that's what makes it so tough to defend against her.
Their opponent tonight will be the Wilmington Quakers. Wilmington in the basement of the OAC standings coming into this one. 1-15 on the year, winless in conference play. Hopefully it will be a quick 3-set victory for the Cardinals tonight, Jacob.
Well, it should be a quick 3-set and out. You know, last time we saw the Cardinals play a team like this, they kind of relaxed a little bit in the third set when McDonald tried to put in her backups, some of her depth players. But that's one thing that favors the Cardinals compared to this Wilmington team. Wilmington has only 11 players, no seniors, and only 3 juniors on this team. So kind of role reversal for them.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the start of tonight's game between the Cardinals and the Quakers. So keep it locked to OTV. We'll be right back after this.
Who says 30 can't be fun? The Columbus Square Bowling Palace is turning 30, and the fun has just begun. Come celebrate our birthday with us. With 64 lanes of bowling open 24 hours for fun with friends and family. No matter what time it is, there's always time at the Palace. The Palace is the perfect place to hold your birthday party or corporate employee groups. Call us today to make your reservation. 30 years old and better than new, with millions of dollars in renovations at the highest rated bowling center in Columbus, the Columbus Square Bowling Palace. Still up? Can't sleep? Looking for something to do? Come to a place where the fun never sleeps. Columbus Square Bowling Palace. It's been the premier bowling destination in Central Ohio for 30 years. With 64 lanes of bowling open 24 hours, no matter what time it is. There's always time at the Palace for fun with friends and family. Join the Night Owl regulars at Columbus Square Bowling Palace, where the fun never sleeps.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they'd die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and 1 person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Is your body holding you back?
Where do you think you're going?
I
want to go running.
Not with that knee, you're not.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
Let's not pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people in pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Fight for your mobility. Visit anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
I'll take it from here.
Here at the Reich Center, where in just a few minutes Otterbein will take on the Wilmington Quakers. Wilmington, as we mentioned in the pregame show, 1-15 on the year. Your Cardinals coming in at 20-6 on the year. As you see there, a little bit of fanfare on the court before we get this match started. I am joined in the booth with Jacob Barker. Jacob, as you're looking down the lineups for this game and reading your game notes, what should we expect to see when the game starts in just a few minutes?
I think we should expect to see a lot of high speed, David. You know, really get the tempo going really fast like Monica McDonald likes to run this game.
Well, before the national anthem here, we will pause and read the starting lineups. Jacob, first for the Wilmington Quakers.
A 5'11" junior from Arcanum, Ohio, Ashley Miller. A 5'6" sophomore from Naples, Florida, Ariana Neff. A 5'7" freshman from Kenton, Ohio, Caitlin Pauley. 5'10" senior from Troy, Ohio, Molly Hertzinger. 5'8" sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, and Briggs High School, Tabby Bigler. And a 5'9" junior out of West Jefferson, Ohio, Natalie Sparks. David?
The Wilmington Quakers are coached by Beth Floyd in her first season as head coach. And now for your hometown Cardinals, starting off number 4, Kendall Kellogg, the junior from Pickerington North. Number 6, Tabitha Piper, the junior from Big Walnut High School in Sunbury, Ohio. Number 13, Kim Barker, junior from Watertown, Ohio. Number 15, Emily Caldwell, Cincinnati native, Mother of Mercy graduate. She is a senior. Number 21, Annie Junger, senior from Cincinnati. And number 30, Liz Palmer, a senior from Delaware, went to Delaware Hayes High School. And Gracie Staten will also be wearing number 1, and she will be the libero for your Cardinals going forward through the rest of the year. This sophomore from Athens, Ohio. Your Cardinals are coached by Monica McDonald. In her 7th season as head coach, she comes into this one with a 134-85 career record. So, Jacob, she has done a tremendous job turning around a program that when she took it over, first year 4 wins, and now they have 5 consecutive 20-plus win seasons.
I think if you follow the basketball team here at Otterbein, both basketball teams, especially the women's basketball team here at Otterbein, it's almost the same story as that. Before McDonald took over, this team really wasn't winning consistently. There wasn't a whole lot of talent, and now they're attracting all kinds of talent, all kinds of depth that have really strengthened this team.
So we will take a quick pause here as we hear the national anthem performed here at the Reich Center. This is the first matchup between these two outfits this year. The last time they met on the hardwood came last year, October 16th, 2012 in Wilmington, Ohio. That was a quick 3-0 victory for the Cardinals. The first meeting between them as they get ready to go on their respective sides. Otterbein defending the right side of the court. Wilmington on the left. Wilmington will be wearing the black shorts with the green tops, white numerals, and green trim. Otterbein in the black shorts with the red tops, tan numerals and tan trim. As you mentioned, Jacob, a very small team for this Quakers outfit. Just 11 girls on their team, not many seniors when you look at it across the other sideline compared to the Cardinals.
Yeah, certainly not. That's something that I'm sure the Cardinals themselves were familiar with at one point too, though. Before McDonald took this team over, there wasn't a whole lot of size or depth. Now the Quakers will look to follow in the same footsteps as the Cardinals did.
So both teams break their huddle and head out onto the floor for Otterbein. Just 2 more home games remaining after tonight. After this, they'll travel to Denison and Mount Union and come back home at the end of the month for Marietta and close the season on November 2nd against Capital University in the big rivalry matchup. Of course, Otterbein, as always, making a push for that NCAA tournament appearance. Jacob, they come into this one the 14th ranked team in all of Division III volleyball. They had the 12th spot after dropping a pair of games to Ohio Northern and Heidelberg in the conference. They fell to the number 14 ranking that they currently have. So Wilmington will have the ball set to put it in play first. It will be Tabby Beigler, the sophomore, a Columbus Briggs graduate, just a few minutes away from Westerville. She stands about 5 yards away from the end line, looking to put this one in play and start the game for the Cardinals. And we're underway. For Junger, it's saved nicely and out of bounds off the hands of a Cardinal, and the Quakers from Wilmington will have the first points of this match.
If Piper wasn't really sure where that one was going, really wasn't sure who was going to call it because nobody had called it for the Cardinals.
Again out of bounds, so Wilmington off to a surprise quick 2-0 start over Monica McDonald's girls. Otterbein coming into this one 3-2 in the conference. They are in a 3-way tie for 4th place in the conference, as Otterbein gets a kill there and gets on the board for their first points. 3-2 in the conference, 26 overall. Mount Union and Heidelberg are tied as the conference leaders 5-0 in the conference. Mount Union 24-3 overall. Heidelberg an even 13-13 on the season. So Junger stands about 10 yards behind the end line, waiting to put this one in play. A good serve is returned by Wilmington. Setting up for a kill shot. It's able to dug out by the Quakers and met at the line, below it dead, and point will go to the Cardinals.
Looks like it's going to be a net violation there, and that was all thanks to Kendall Kellogg putting a left-hander on the opposite side.
Junger puts it in play. Good job by the front wall of the Cardinals to keep that one alive. Setting up for the kill off the hands of the diving libero that time. Point will go to Otterbein. Credit Maddie Shelley with the kill that time.
Yeah, Megan Bruns, she was the libero. She was all alone back there, and when you have somebody that can hit it as fast as Annie Junger, I'm not sure if you want to have just one player back.
Otterbein with the 3-2 advantage here in the early goings of the first set. Junger puts it in play. And the officials will blow it dead before Otterbein has a chance. A violation on the floor, and Otterbein doubles up the Quakers 4-2 here.
As we mentioned, David, key to victory here for the Cardinals is get it started fast and don't take your foot off the gas pedal, no matter who you are.
Junger with her 4th consecutive serve. And again, it's blown dead before Otterbein has a chance to retaliate, and they will go up 5-2.
And it's going to be an illegal hit by Tabby Beigler there. She tried to put too much of a soft hand on that one.
A line drive serve. Setting up for the kill, and not a good shot that time from Hertzinger, the senior, the Troy native. Couldn't get a good hand on that one, slides off. And Otterbein, after falling down 0-2 quickly, now has a 6-2 advantage. A good save that time from Staten. Setting up for the kill. Otterbein gets it that time. Kendall Kellogg, the junior Pickerington North graduate, credited with the point that time. And there will be a timeout on the floor as Otterbein has the 7-2 advantage. So Jacob, Otterbein comes out a little slow, falls down 0-2, but since then 7 unanswered points for the Cardinals.
That's exactly what we mentioned. Get it started fast, and that's exactly what the Cardinals are doing. They're catching the breaks. They're taking advantage of them, and they're setting up well. Tabitha Piper's doing her job, setting up plays. We haven't seen any sneak shots like we're used to seeing. but she's setting everybody up down there, and Kellogg and Junger following suit.
Yeah, the last time we did a broadcast of a volleyball game, Jacob, was against the ladies of Kenyon, and we saw a lot of sneak plays in that one.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there were 7 or 8 times where that happened.
I counted 8 different sneak plays where she had her eye set one way and she was looking like she was going to set it up for a kill, and she just lightly tapped it over the net. So Junger will be back for her 5th consecutive serve now.
You never know what you're going to get with Tabitha Piper, that's for sure.
Junger is able to save it from going out of bounds, setting up for the kill. Good dig out there by the Quakers. Liz Palmer hits that one back over, and close to a net violation, not called. Good job by the front wall of the Cardinals. Liz Palmer leading the charge to keep that one alive, and that one sails out of bounds. Point will go to the Cardinals. They take the 8-2 advantage in the first set here at the Reich Center.
Long set, but give the Quakers credit there, trying to get the point and nearly having a response for every single hit the Cardinals had.
And a good sneak attack that time. That was,
as we see, Piper
the
style.
Sophomore. She did indeed pull the Piper fake out of her back pocket, and it breaks the 8 straight points scored for the Cardinals. 8-3 now. Wilmington looking to serve. Met at the front line there, and illegal hitting the call. Point will go to the Cardinals. 9-3 in the first set now. And Gracie Staten will be served upon the call. As we mentioned, she will take over the libero duties for the remainder of the season. She's wearing the black libero jersey. And her first serve of the game sails wide of the back line. So back and forth we go. Wilmington now with possession of the ball and trailing 9-4. Miller puts it in play. Setting up the kill, saved nicely there. Miller tries to get a hand on that one, but she knocks it out of bounds. Point goes to the Cardinals. A good diving effort that time, but she's unable to keep control of it.
One thing you were noticing about this Wilmington team that may need to have some adjustments done is once the hits are set, and once the ball's in play, we're seeing a lot of collapsing. The Cardinals are really opening it up in the back.
Junger digs that one out, setting up for the kill. The libero is able to dive and save it. Staten keeping it alive to Junger. Junger puts it over the net. And whiffs on that one as she was attempting for a kill shot. Point will go to the Cardinals. Junger had 14 kills in the Cardinals' last victory on the 19th when they defeated Mount St. Joseph's 3-2. That was a doubleheader that day. They also won a match 3-1. So serving for the Quakers will be number 6, Elizabeth Carter, the freshman. A lot of underclassmen on this roster for Coach Beth Floyd's squad. As Jacob said, only 2 seniors. Coach Floyd in her first season as head coach, trying to turn around a program that historically has been in the bottom of the OAC in the standings year in and year out, not really known as a volleyball school. Baker tries to send that one over. Junger dives for it, but it's off her hands, out of bounds. Point goes to the Quakers. Carter dribbles the ball, throws it in the air, and puts it into play to Junger. And a quick sneak attack there. That time we saw it, Jacob. Tabitha Piper, the junior, with the kill that time. The sneak attack to get it over to double up Wilmington, 12-6.
I got a feeling that's not going to be the only time we're going to be seeing that tonight, David.
Tabitha Piper coming into this one, 119 assists short of the all-time school record, Jacob. The school record belongs to Brooke Can. 3,229 of them in her career that lasted from 1999 to 2001. Tabitha Piper, just a junior, on pace to break that record this year if she continues her average that she's been going at.
Yeah, so you've been taking advantage of those archives that are posted on Otterbein's website. Not many of us know about that, but that's certainly going to be big. If she gets 10.5, keeps up that 10.5 per game at least, she'll beat it, no question.
And another kill for Junger. As we said, she comes into this one as the Cards leader in that statistical category. Looking for the kill. Good retaliation by the Cardinal front wall to send that one back over. Staten keeps it alive. Over to Junger. A good job that time. That was the tag team of Quakers, Pauly and Sparks, able to send that one back over. No Cardinals defending the back half of the court, and they cut the lead in half for Otterbein, 14-7 in the first set here at the Reich Center. Ashley Miller, the junior, the Franklin Monroe graduate, waiting to put the ball in play. A decent crowd on hand here at the Reich Center, Jacob, as a small student section is formed.
Well, Monica's Maniacs is, as I
think that's the name we decided on, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Junger with yet another kill there. She puts Otterbein's lead up to 15-7. But yeah, we came to the name Monica's Maniacs last week. We had Adrian's Army, Connie's Cavalry.
Yeah.
We diverged from the military theme and went with Monica's Maniacs. So they're here in force as that one goes into the net, turning it over to Wilmington and giving a point to them, 15-8 in the first set.
So now what do you do for Tim Daup's team, though?
That's a tough one. Do you stay with the military theme, or do you diverge from that?
I can't even think of anything off the top of my head. I'll be thinking of something.
I'll leave the nicknames up to you, Jacob. You can come up with the rest of the student section nicknames from here on out.
Speak the devil has tapped. Piper almost got one over again.
Oh, a little miscommunication from the Cardinals that time, as it looked like Barker was trying to hit it over and hit it right into the back of the head of her teammate Liz Palmer. Palmer at 6'1", the tallest player for either team out on the floor. That's why she's playing up close to the net there.
It's another thing of note. There's not a player that's taller than, I believe it's 5'10" on this Quakers team. Size definitely not a factor.
Ashley Miller,
either.
the tallest at just 5'11", but we saw Liz Palmer use her height to her advantage that time, finding an open spot in the floor. Otterbein goes up 16-9 over their OAC foes. We said Wilmington searching for their first conference win of the season, 0-5 on the year.
No, questionable, no call there.
Looked like
seeming to kick.
Kickball to me.
I didn't know this was soccer, but
I remember a game last year, Jacob, where one of the visiting players punted the ball over and they didn't stop play. They let it go. So I'm not sure if that's a legal play or not, but
I believe it's incidental if it's incidental contact with the ball, then they'll allow it over.
A fake move that time from Neff. She catches the Cardinals napping, and it's an 8-point game here in the first set. Coach McDonald going with the same starting lineup she has had out the whole game, not sending many substitutions into the game. Wilmington doesn't really have the option of sending many substitutes into the game, as that one is off the hands of Gracie Staten.
That's one she'd like to have back for sure. She knows it. Took a look at her hands, and she's like, that was mine. Got to have it. Got to get it next time.
Beegler puts it over play. Staten saves herself that time, setting up for the kill. And it's Kendall Kellogg with that one.
Cardinals are doing a great job of really isolating certain players on the court on Wilmington's side and really bringing in that extra man.
The last time these two teams we mentioned was in 2012, and Kendall Kellogg had a great game in that one. A .429 hitting percentage, 8 kills, and just 2 errors on 14 attempts for her. So a tremendous game that allowed the Cardinals to beat Wilmington 3-0 last year in Wilmington, Ohio. And again, there will be a timeout on the floor. This time it is called by Wilmington. So we'll have a minute timeout. Otterbein with the 19-11 lead here at the Reich Center. And Jacob, we mentioned in the pregame that Otterbein needed to get off to a big start. We saw against the Lords the last time they played a weaker opponent when we were here for a broadcast that they sort of let them get back into it, and after going up 2-0 in sets, they let them win a set because they put too many substitutes in the game. Seems like Otterbein has really got out to that big lead, and it doesn't look like they're going to give it up soon here in the first set.
It certainly doesn't look like it, and I think if you're Coach McDonald, if you want to save your time, if you want to save your starters a little bit, put in one or two substitutions at a time, no more and no less, because that will not give your team any ideas as to what you're trying to do, that you're trying to change much of anything. The two teams look to take the court here yet again. Here in the second frame, as Junger will drop back deep.
Same lineup on the floor for the Cardinals, no substitutions. Annie Junger, the Cincinnati native from Ursuline High School, serves it over. To Kellogg. Kellogg hits it over. Setting up for the kill. Staten digs it out. To Barker. That one very close to the line, and looks like they're going to give the point to the Cardinals. So 20-11 here in the first set. Otterbein over top of their OAC foes. Back to serve for Wilmington, Ashley Miller, the junior.
Native of Naples, Florida, we did not mention earlier.
Officials blow it dead before it hits the floor. They will award the point to Wilmington, 20-12. They'll keep possession of the ball. Ariana Neff back to serve. As the Otterbein players on the sidelines are starting to get into this one and chanting for their starters out on the floor. Staten with the dig there. And a good job by the front wall of the Quakers. Liz Palmer tried to hit it over as they have taken a point off the board, it looks like, Jacob. So a scorer's decision to reverse a call earlier. They took a point away from the Cardinals, have given it to the Quakers, and it is now 19-14 Otterbein. And that one just sails a little too far of the sidelines, out of bounds. And don't look now, but it's only a 4-point match.
And Kellogg was looking to go cross court, trying to catch the Quakers napping. Nearly did, but it was a little too far.
Lightly tapped over, and she finds some space on the floor. That's Maddie Shelley, the sophomore from New Philadelphia, Ohio. And Gracie Staten in her libero uniform goes back to serve. That one goes out of bounds, and Otterbein is the first team in this match to reach 20 points. Staten serves it over. And a good job there by the Otterbein front wall to send it back. And they go up 22-15.
That's Piper and Barker that were really scrambling for that one and really created havoc for the Quakers on that play.
Staten serving. She has had a tremendous job since taking over as the libero. Double-digit digs in each of her last 4 outings. She set a new career high with 17 against Anderson last Saturday.
Noticing a lot of line drive serves for Gracie Staten, kind of rising liners headed straight across, not really arcing up at all.
That one's in. A not wise move by Wilmington to not touch it, and it stays inbounds by about a foot or so. And Otterbein is 2 points away from taking the first set here. Miller puts it in play. Looking for Barker. Good dig by the Quakers to keep it alive. Staten to Junger for the kill, and that one is out of bounds. And the Cardinals are now just a point away from taking the first set.
Great set assist by Gracie Staten there, really setting up Maddie Shelley for the kill.
Kellogg with the serve. That one sails wide of the line by a few inches. 25-16 here in the first set. As Molly Hertzinger, the senior, will take a seat on the bench for the Quakers. Elizabeth Carter, a freshman, back to serve. Kayla Radican, the junior, also checking into the game for Coach McDonald's girls. A junior from Athens, Ohio, graduate of Alexandria High School. Junger looking to finish the first set, and she does with that one. Annie Junger finds some open spots in the back of the floor, and that will send us to our first break. Otterbein takes the first set of this game 25-17. When we come back, we'll have all the second set action here on OTV.
That was my bad there. I thought we were moving on.
Still up? Can't sleep? Looking for something to do? Come to a place where the fun never sleeps. Columbus Square Bowling Palace. It's been the premier bowling destination in Central Ohio for 30 years. With 64 lanes of bowling open 24 hours, no matter what time it is. There's always time at the Palace for fun with friends and family. Join the Night Owl regulars at Columbus Square Bowling Palace, where the fun never sleeps.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and one person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Is your body holding you back?
Where do you think you're going?
I want to go running.
Not with that knee, you're not.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
Let's not, pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people in pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Fight for your mobility. Visit anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
I'll take it from here.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and one person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
The Lady Cardinals of Otterbein up 1-0 over OAC foe Wilmington after taking the first set 25 points to 17, looking to extend their winning streak to 3 in a row and also looking to get victory number 21 on the season. I'm David Kinder, joined in the press box of the Reich Center with Jacob Barker. We have an OAC match on our hands. Otterbein up 1-0 and Wilmington looking for their first conference win of the season. Similar starting lineup out on the floor. A few substitutions of note. Number 11, Kristen Estes, the sophomore from Medina, Ohio, Buckeye High School graduate, has checked into the game. Kayla Radican, the junior, will stay in the game. Staten comes in, Staten stays in as well. Ashton Rifle, a freshman from Circleville, Logan Elm graduate, checking into the game. And Casey White, a sophomore from Warren High School, also seeing her first action of the contest. So Jacob, Coach McDonald emptying her bench early with a lot of substitutes. We saw this work against Kenyon when we did our first volleyball broadcast of the year, and it did not work out very successfully.
Oh, I think there has to be an experience factor in as Radican gets ready to serve. Crosses the net, Wilmington will play it in. Nuva Barrow on the court, that's number 6. So Liz Carter, the freshman out of Mount Orab, Ohio. And the Cardinals are going to escape with that point there, though.
Well, it looks like Wilmington running out the same starting lineup that they had in the first set, so it will be much of the Cardinal reserves taking on the starters in the green jerseys.
Will be a big test indeed as the Cardinals look to keep this one alive. Great shot there across court, and that one is out. They're going to call that one out on Casey White. White was trying to catch them napping, trying to serve it deep, but the leading killer for the Wilmington Quakers, Tabby Biegler out of Columbus Briggs, will serve it across as she gets it out, and that one is out of bounds yet again as Carly Culbertson is the one that caught guilty on that one.
Briggs not too far from both of our alma maters, Jacob.
Yep, that's correct. Well, especially not from the west side of Columbus, Ohio. You just go right down I-70 from Westland High School. Biegler will set up behind the line about 5 feet deep. That one is going to be out. That one just barely crossed the line. 3-2 now in favor of the Quakers.
Good court presence that time by the libero Gracie Staten to know where she was on the floor and to know where the end line was, as that one didn't miss the white mark by but a few inches.
Kelsey Gessner, last name sounds familiar as Kylie Gessner, current Otterbein student as well, current goalkeeper on the men's soccer team and former four-year letterman for the men's basketball team here at Otterbein, as that one goes into the net, and that was Hertzinger, the one that was caught nailing it in. That'll give the point to the Cardinals. That will tie up this set as Gessner will get ready to serve it over. Stands about 10 feet deep. Moves up to the baseline, gets it across the line, drive. Hertzinger will put it in play as Gessner will try to put it back. That was Kirsten Est sneaking it over. That caught the Florida native Ariana Neff napping on that play. Gessner will take her third straight serve. That one barely gets over as Wilmington will try to put it back in play. Hertzinger again fanning on that one. That's going to be another one she's going to want back.
Statistically, Jacob, the second set, the best set of the year for the Cardinals. They're outscoring their opponents by 124 points when they meet them in the second set. So hopefully Otterbein can get a quick win here and try to take it in 3 sets.
Would dive there by Natalie Sparks, but that was too far to the right as that one is knocked out of bounds. 5th straight point for this Cardinals team here in the second set. Gessner again jumps up to the baseline. White will try to put it back in, and she sneaks it over Piper style, and that one is going to make it 6-4.
The only thing, Jacob, with running a lot of reserves out there, for a team as good as Coach McDonald's squad is, 20 wins on this year, they have a lot of blowout wins. So these are reserves that see a lot of playing time this year. They're not always on the bench in close matches, or not the ones getting blown out, just seeing scrub time. So her reserves get to see a lot of quality minutes. So when they do have to go in games like this or to replace someone who gets injured, they're ready to go and they are seasoned. They could be veterans on other squads.
Depth certainly a strength on this Cardinals team. As Carter tried to take a whack at that one. Looked like it was headed out, but she'll keep it in play as S will try and bring it back for the Cardinals. That one smashed across the court by Carly Culbertson. Culbertson yet again, and this time Kelsey Berrien, the senior. We haven't seen her a lot this season, but she gets the kill there, her first kill in a while, and the Cardinals make it 8-4.
Yeah, this is just the 9th appearance of the year for her, so not a lot of action on the court, but she's certainly making a name for herself early in this one.
Line drive served by S just barely gets over the net as Ashley Miller will try to put it over. Kelsey Berrien again trying to create some space as Wilmington trying to sneak it by that front wall of the Cardinals, but so far that is not happening. Great setup there by Radican, but that was not enough as Natalie Sparks, the junior out of West Jefferson, Ohio, was there to greet her, get the point for the Quakers, and makes it 8-5 as Ashley Miller will retreat behind the baseline about 5 feet deep.
Yeah, those are the 2 tallest players for the Quakers, Ashley Miller and Natalie Sparks combining on that one. That's a tough front line to try to spike it over.
Speaking of the devil, Ashton Rifle, the freshman out of Circleville, home of the Pumpkin Show, going on right now, and I'm sure a lot of Otterbein students talking about that around campus. Fall is in the air.
Did you make it out there this year, Jacob?
Not yet. Time is if you're one of us, David, time is limited.
Always one of the great events to do in Central Ohio.
Yeah. It'll make some time, certainly, absolutely. And they're going to give, looks like they're going to give that one to the Quakers, as they say, got a piece of, that was Bloomberg. Tried to get her hand on it, one of the 3 Cincinnati natives on this team, along with Junger and Lauren Beidel. Bloomberg, the freshman out of Loveland High School.
Hurley's serve goes into the net there. The first mistake we've seen out of the Quakers from a serving standpoint in this game.
Culbertson will stand deep back near the basketball baseline, in fact. And she'll try to keep it in play. Eagler try to keep it across for the Quakers, but the Quakers are met once again by that was Ashton Rifle and number 24, Kayla Radican, on that play. Culbertson waits deep yet again, just gets it over. That one nearly mishandled by White. And they're going to call a hitting violation there on the Quakers. Yet again, one of several that we've seen from this Quakers team so far in this game. Culbertson yet again has been standing back there for the past 5 or 6 sets. She'll get it over, and that one is in and out of the hands of Hurley. She'd like to have that one back. That'll make it 13-6. A timeout called by the Wilmington Quakers here. And David, this game's certainly starting to get out of hand despite the reserves that the Cardinals have in the lineup.
Yeah, this just shows the great talent that Coach McDonald's squad has on it. Everywhere you look up and down the lineup, she has a lot of talent from some of the best names in high school volleyball, and it's really showing here on the court comparatively for Wilmington, who only came into this one with 11 girls, over 20 girls on the Otterbein squad. As we take a look at some of the statistics, leading for your Cardinals is Annie Junger, as we saw. She hasn't even played in the second set. She has 6 kills and 2 assists, and the leading assister so far, Tabitha Piper, 7. We mentioned she was just 119 away from the school record. Nothing of note out of the Wilmington team except that Ariana Neff is the leading killer on their team with 3 so far.
Beth Floyd, first season as head coach of this Quaker squad. She is the school's winningest fast pitch softball coach each of the last 4 seasons, including a school record of 16 last spring in 2012. So definitely she brings a lot of experience and hardcore, really lots of intensity as the back and forth action continues here at the Reich Center between these two teams. Rifle tries to get it over, but she can't. Nobody really giving an edge here. Staten will try to set one up. And that one is going to count indeed. Casey White taking the Staten feed. She kills it across. White, the sophomore, out of Little Hocking, Ohio.
Well, Jacob, that was the best set of volleys we saw this entire game, as we see the serve going to the net there and a turnover. But it was made possible by a great save by Gracie Staten. She made an unbelievable one-handed diving save to keep the ball alive that time for the longest set of volleys we've seen.
Emily Reagan, she'll be back, the junior out of Columbus, another junior out of Columbus Briggs, so one of only 3 juniors on this team. In fact, was teammates with Tabby Biegler at one point during her high school career. As Staten, she'll stand very deep back in the far left corner. Going left to right here on your television, or computer screen for that matter. S will try to sneak it over, but the Quakers not giving much of an edge. Staten gets her hands on it, and she'll hand it over to Kendall Kellogg. He'll try to kill it over, but can't. As the Quakers try to keep it alive. Team's trying to avoid hitting it more than 3 times, but that's what we're getting here, is the Quakers trying to get it over twice, but that doesn't work. But none the worse for wear. It's Casey White, greeted by that wall of defenders from the Quakers, but it goes off the hands and out of bounds. Cardinals will make it 16-7 as Staten will stand back deep again. Quakers having a lot of trouble getting that ball under control, really having trouble establishing any form of rhythm. As White once again making her presence known on that far side. Middle point, Culbertson tries to drive it home, can't. She tries to keep it alive. And far side, White just barely gets her fist on that one. She'd like to have that one back. That'll make it 16-8. Cardinals looking to keep the momentum going and are looking to reverse it. Reagan will stand back deep once again. That one is put over by S, but Kellogg loses the handle, and she's not able to get a clean look at that one as Bloomberg is caught. As we mentioned, David, really just a young, another freshman on this team, another young player, a lot of depth on this team. It's Coach McDonald taking advantage of the roster that she has as White yet again, and she'll knock it over. That's her second kill of the night. Casey White As we see Kendall Kellogg exit the game in favor of Kayla Radican. Kelsey Berrien also back in the lineup as well.
And these substitutes really making a name for themselves tonight, Jacob, despite the fact they're playing against the first team for Wilmington, of course leading here, but also making some sensational plays.
Great effort there by Courtney Hurley to keep it over, and that will earn her team the point. That'll make it 17-10. As we take a look at around the rest of our OAC, around some OAC action here tonight. 3 other matches going on as we take a look at some of them right now. Mount Union is up 1-0 on Muskingum. Capital and Marietta, that one is scoreless. John Carroll up on Baldwin Wallace 1-0. That one just underway. And Wilmington, of course, Wilmington here at Otterbein.
I imagine a lot of the Cardinals will keep a close eye on the results of Mount Union coming down the stretch, along with Heidelberg and Ohio Northern. Those are the 3 teams currently above Otterbein in the OAC standings. Mount Union always one of the powers, not only in football, Jacob, but here on the hardwood for women's volleyball.
9th ranked team, as you mentioned, David, so the Cardinals will look to avenge, or add to actually what they did last year as they knocked off the Mount Union Purple Raiders in the OAC Championship, as they will look to do that here yet again, looking to control their own destiny. As what great speed as we saw there. Great setup from Radican. That's something you don't often see from her. That's the sophomore out of Medina, Ohio, near the Cleveland area. And she'll get it just right across, and that one headed into the crowd. Looks like it's going to be a souvenir for one of the fans. Actually, they're going to make them give it back. It's a little too much merchandise there to give away. As serving from left to right, that one is hit again in the air by Liz Carter. Cardinals will get the point on that one, and they're just 4 points away from taking this set and going up 2-0. S will send it across, and in fact that one dipped on her and will go right into the net as Staten will take her place on the court, the libero, as we mentioned, for the rest of the season. Staten, the native out of Athens, Ohio, the sophomore, also on the basketball team, along with Tabitha Piper. As it'll be Miller's turn to serve it over for the Quakers. Right to left, she'll get it across. Radican tries to set it up, but looks like that one was a fake pass kill, as we saw Kayla Radican completely deke the Quakers out of position. 22-12, Cardinals 3 points away from taking this one, as Bloomberg will stand deep back right corner. As that one goes just off the netting, still in play though, as the Quakers try to get it across. That was Caitlin Pauley trying to get it over. Quakers trying to play a game of 3-touch, but it's not going to work, as that'll make it that'll give the Cardinals 2 more points to put this one in the books, and we will have a timeout called by Beth Floyd and her team. David, what are you seeing so far? What do you look to see from the Cardinals, both finishing off this set and headed into the next set, as they will have a chance to hand the Quakers the broom tonight?
Well, it's just a matter of sheer talent on the floor. It's apparent that the Cardinals have a lot more of it than the visitors from Wilmington. They've ran out in a complete lineup of substitutes out there here in this second set, and they still have a lead by more than double digits. So Jacob, it's obviously a rebuilding team here in Wilmington that's trying to get back on track and get back to the winning ways, but talent has won out tonight, and it appears that it will show that way in the final record books as well.
Looking at some stats here, Junger 4 kills on the night, along with Maddie Shelley. She's got 4 kills. Kendall Kellogg has got 2 kills and 1 block. Piper's got 1 kill. And of the players out there on the court, Gracie Staten with 4 digs on the evening so far. Bloomberg tries to get it across. She will, but that one is greeted by the front wall of Kellogg and Rifle. Bloomberg again. This time Culbertson tries to get it across, but Biegler is there to greet her. White tries to backhand it over as Bloomberg yet again sets up Kellogg this time. Quakers trying to avoid getting 3 touches on that one as they can, but Culbertson will make them pay for that one. As Beegler had nothing she could do on that one. Trying to dig it out, and that one goes underneath the netting. 24-12, Cardinals 1 point away, looking to make it 2-0. And that one is out of play. That will do it for the second set here. And we will take a break here. Cardinals finish the set on top 25-12 and are up 2-0 on the evening. We'll take a break. We'll be right back here on Otterbein TV. Jacob Barker here and David Kinder, with David Kinder providing the play-by-play coming up next.
Still up? Can't sleep? Looking for something to do? Come to a place where the fun never sleeps. Columbus Square Bowling Palace. It's been the premier bowling destination in Central Ohio for 30 years. With 64 lanes of bowling open 24 hours, no matter what time it is. There's always time at the Palace for fun with friends and family. Join the Night Owl regulars at Columbus Square Bowling Palace, where the fun never sleeps.
Is your body holding you back?
Where do you think you're going?
I want to go running.
Not with that knee, you're not.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
Let's not pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people in pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Fight for your mobility. Visit anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
I'll take it from here.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and 1 person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Looking for their 13th 3-0 victory of the season, looking for their 21st overall and their 6th in OAC play, and they're just a set away from accomplishing that if they can defeat the Wilmington Quakers here in set number 3. They took set number 1 25-17 and set 2 25-12. I'm David Kinder, Jacob Barker along with me here at the Reich Center. Thanks for watching OTV's coverage of women's volleyball. Remember, the next time you can catch an OTV broadcast will be 2 Saturdays from now, and we'll have a double header coming your way, Jacob. We will have volleyball in the morning at 11 o'clock, and then the football game with Hated Capital over at Memorial Stadium around 1:30. So I believe I'll be calling both those games for television. It will be a riveting day of wall-to-wall Otterbein athletics, so you can tune us on in the morning for volleyball and then keep it locked there for football as well. So
yeah, I'll be out in the bandstand, so we'll probably be wearing those Screw Capital shirts. We'll probably be yelling the Hail Capital cheer as we usually do.
You hail Capital at the Capital game?
Hail Caesar, hail Brutus, hail Capital, hail no.
Oh, I got you. Okay. All right. A play on words. I see.
Yep.
Scoreless here in the first set as Otterbein quickly changes that. A spike there puts them ahead a 1-0, and we see Coach McDonald decided to go with the substitutes in the third set as well, Jacob.
Yep, and I don't see why not. The way they took that second set there, the way got players like Kirsten S. were able to handle that pressure. I say you keep them in, keep their confidence going.
Wilmington trying to send it over, unable to dig that one out of the hardwood, and it'll be a 2-0 advantage for the Quakers. Otterbein looking to maintain their 14th ranking in all of the land among Division III programs. As we mentioned, the OAC, that one looks like it did stay in bounds there. Nope, they're going to say went out of bounds, give the point to Wilmington. And Wilmington is up quickly 3-0 over the Cardinals. As we were mentioning, the OAC, Jacob, one of the toughest conferences in all of women's volleyball, Division III. And again, Wilmington has 4 straight points as there are 2 ranked teams within the top 15. Mount Union, the number 9 team in the country, and Otterbein, as we mentioned, trying to hold on to their 14th ranking. So Mount Union has come out with a quick 4-0 lead here in the 3rd set. That one did stay in bounds, and Otterbein is finally on the boards 4-1 here in the 3rd set. Checking into the game now for the Cardinals is Giesner, the sophomore, Westerville North graduate. And she's replacing Casey White, another sophomore who will take a seat on the bench.
Some score updates here from around the OAC. You speak of Mount Union. They are up 2-0 on Muskingum. Capital and Marietta still don't have an update from them, but Ohio Northern and Heidelberg still locked up at 0 apiece in the 1st set. John Carroll and Baldwin Wallace tied up at 1 set apiece, and they're in the 3rd set tied at 1-1.
And with that point, it will be a 5-point disadvantage for the Cardinals. Coach McDonald might think about putting some of her starters back into the contest after the way her substitutes have fallen behind here in the 3rd set.
A little lack of chemistry, and I think there's a little bit of chaos going on there as we saw Gracie State, Emily Caldwell, Carly Culbertson try to scramble for it.
A good job there to lightly tap it over for the point, and Otterbein cuts it to a 6-2 deficit. And more substitutions into the game now for the Cardinals. You see freshman
that's going to be Rachel Dosh.
Rachel Dosh, as we said, another freshman on this Cardinal team seeing significant playing time. There are some injuries up and down this Cardinal lineup. Lauren Beidel, the sophomore from Lakota East, out with an injury, as is Evelyn Karras. So 2 of the Cardinals' star players who are used to seeing significant minutes out on the floor injured, not in uniform tonight. That one sails way wide at the back line.
Star players injured, though, shouldn't concern this Cardinals team, David. This team is too deep to really kind of dwell on those on the absence of those 2 players as they've shown us this season.
Well, very liberal substitutions for Coach McDonald here in the 3rd set, as we see number 15, Emily Caldwell, the senior from Cincinnati, check into the game for the first time. She also in the libero uniform. She started the season as the libero and has since been replaced by the sophomore Gracie Staten. More substitutions as Blumberg, the freshman, checks back in. So a lot of different players seeing action here in the 3rd set, Jacob.
As we mentioned, depth, definitely a favorite of this Cardinals team and definitely a favorite of Coach Monica McDonald.
Caldwell digs that one out, and that one appeared to be out of bounds.
Rather questionable.
That one, they're going to award the point to Wilmington, but you heard the groans from the crowd. That one looked like it was a few inches past the white line, Jacob.
Yeah, I think the crowd suggested otherwise, and it certainly seemed like it from this angle, David, as that one appeared to go just over white line. You could see a little bit of that white line underneath. But none the worse for wear for the Quakers. They'll take that.
A little miscommunication from the Cardinals there as they are unable to return that serve successfully, and they fall behind 9-4. Hurley puts it in play. Back and forth volley off the hands of a Quaker. A good diving save that time. Setting up for the kill. The libero is able to dig it out. And that one goes a little wide of the inline, out of bounds. 5th point of the set for the Cards.
Sparks was trying to fool the Cardinals there, going to opposite side. But Bloomberg and Rachel Dosh were not going to buy that one whatsoever.
Another freshman sent back to serve this one. The Bishop Reedy graduate puts it into play. And that one out of bounds, missed the mark by a few feet. And it's now a 3-point game.
Momentum starting to swing toward the Cardinals, and that's what they're going to look to do here in the 3rd set. They have to get the momentum on their side if they want to win in this third set.
Volleyball, a sport where the momentum seems to change as much as the wind, Jacob. Back and forth, much like basketball. You can be riding high one moment and then look up at the scoreboard and see you're down by 10 the next. Otterbein has cut the lead to 2 now for the Quakers, and we have a timeout on the floor. So after falling behind 8-2 in the third set, and hopefully the last set for Coach McDonald's girls, Jacob, they have stormed back. We've seen a lot of substitutions out of her, and now they find themselves only down by 2 points. As we take a look at some of the statistical leaders, despite the fact that Annie Junger has not seen significant action since the first set, she still has the lead in kills in this one with 6, and also has 2 assists. Tabitha Piper with 7 assists, leading the way for the Cardinals in that category. 2 players who have not checked into this game since the first set.
Kind of when you look up and down this lineup, David, when you look at this Cardinals team, it kind of reminds you of when basketball season hits, when we see these teams play, when we see Otterbein play teams like Ohio Northern and Mount Union use their whole sideline. And that's something that if you're a Cardinals fan, you should get used to, especially this upcoming season.
You mentioned the basketball season. Basketball not that far away from us as the leaves are starting to fall here in Westerville. The men's squad will take to Cleveland November 15th for their first games of the season at a tournament at Case Western University. And then the following day after that, Jacob, the football team will close their regular season out in Ada, Ohio against Ohio Northern.
Ohio Northern, that will be the first test for the Cardinals on the new artificial turf at Dial Roberson Stadium.
That's another day of doubleheader Cardinal action where you can listen to football around 1:30 on WOBN 97.5, and then the Cards could either be in the consolation game, which would start, I believe, around 3 o'clock. So if that's the case, we'd pick up action on radio after the football game about halfway through that one, or they could be in the championship game, which is what we're hoping for, and that game won't start at around 7 o'clock, so you'll be able to hear the game in its entirety if they are in the championship game from Cleveland.
Hopefully that should be a long day for us, David.
A lot of great things expected out of the winter athletes around campus as play is blown dead. Otterbein trailing the Quakers 12-8 now after they are awarded the point, trying to get their 13th shutout of the season.
Lots of communication there going on along that sideline as the Cardinals close the lead to 4. Emily Caldwell looking to make it 3.
And I'll tell you, Jacob, I'm really excited for 2 Saturdays from now when we get to have doubleheader with football and volleyball the same day. Should be a lot of great athletics going on around campus, and hopefully a pair of Cardinal wins over the ever-hated Capital Crusaders.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're at the football game, though, you can always check out the entertaining Capital Marching Band. It's always something to catch. It's always a joke. It's always a joke among a lot of Otterbein students too.
And there is the serve from the Quakers, sails wide of the inline. Carter, the freshman, put that one in play. And Otterbein now finds themselves down 4 points, 13-9 in the third set. With the 2-0 advantage, they won the first set 25-17 and 25-12 over their OAC rivals.
Kelsey Berrien would like to have that one back. She was I won't say way too close, but she was too close to the net to get a hand on that.
Into the game now is Molly Hertzinger, this senior, one of 2 seniors for Coach Floyd's squad for the Quakers, and off the hands of, that was Casey White that time, out of bounds. And again, as we mentioned, momentum shifts in volleyball. It looks like the Quakers have the momentum again.
One senior forgot to mention that Hertzinger is senior. I will apologize for that error on that one. Tabby Beegler's just taking her time. Leader on the kills, as we mentioned, coming into today for the Quakers team. Obviously does not compare to Annie Junger, who is back out there on the court after sitting out after the first set.
Annie Junger making her first appearance on the floor. A player who will, I imagine, at the end of the year be in discussions for first-team all-conference selection.
I don't see why you wouldn't, David.
And they find some open space on the floor, send that one down, and Otterbein cuts it back to a 4-point lead again, 15-11 here in the third set. Junger looking to serve this one. She puts it in play, and some miscommunication out of a pair of Quakers as they both go for the ball. Neither can come up with it, and it's a 3-point game now.
Beagler was caught standing around, really had no idea what she was doing there other than trying to watch her teammates get to it. Obviously, that was not the case.
And that hit there sails just wide from Hertzinger. Otterbein, now the momentum firmly on their side as they claw back into this one, down just 2. As we see a few starters back into the game for the Cardinals now, most notably Junger. Junger serves that one off the hands of the libero that time, and it's a 1-point game now.
4 straight points for the Cardinals and a timeout here called by the Quakers.
Now Quakers calling this one, as we mentioned, back and forth momentum will go in this sport, Jacob. And this has been a very strange third set. We saw a starting lineup of complete substitutes when we started. Coach McDonald saw her team go down quick and go down early, so she decided to throw some seniors back in there. And it looks like Otterbein has a lot of the momentum back on their side now, trailing only by 1 point. What do you think they need to do? Any game plan strategy for Coach McDonald?
Run and gun, I would say. If you're going to keep bringing some experienced players back into the game, catch these Quakers off guard. This is a team that really has not responded well to momentum shifts in the Quakers so far.
This one is now tied up for the first time in the third set. Wilmington has lost their lead that they worked so hard to build up. Tied up 15 all.
A little miscommunication there between Reagan and Beagler on that play.
And Otterbein now has their first lead of the third set. And it seems like the Quaker team is falling apart at the seams here in this third set after getting a pretty sizable lead. At one point they were up by 6 points. Now that has evaporated. Otterbein up 1. And you can make that 2.
You can make that 8 straight points.
Otterbein's offense on a tear here. As substituted into the game is Noel Kane, yet another freshman, a Dayton native, into the game. Her first action of the contest.
Great response there by the Cardinals. Great resilience by Carly Culbertson there.
And you can definitely notice a change in pace since Annie Junger has been substituted into this one, Jacob.
She is the spark for this Cardinals team. You hear that name on the court, and it just gives this team a sense of energy. You know something good is bound to happen every single play.
And Beagler breaks the scoring streak for the Cardinals as she sends that one over. Hits the top of the net, but Otterbein unable to retaliate. And Natalie Sparks will come back into the game now for Coach Floyd's squad. As Kane serves it. Caldwell with the dig, setting up the kill off the front line of the Quakers. A good dive there. Caldwell bats it over. And Junger, did she touch that one?
Yes, she did.
Looks like she did. She tried to pull her hands back quickly and say she didn't, as that one sailed out of bounds if she would not have touched it, but she gets a piece of her hand on it, and Wilmington has consecutive points now, and they find themselves down only 1 in the third set.
Oh, wow. That one hard enough to knock Tabby Beagler down on the floor.
So Otterbein set to serve this one. A 2-point lead here in the third set. It is over. A little bit of confusion that time out of the Quakers on who to hit it, and they run into the front wall of the Cardinals Spearheaded that time by Radican, who sends it over. Otterbein up 3 points, 17-20. Looking for their 21st victory of the season and to hang on to their 14th national ranking. And again, the front line of the Cardinals do the trick.
Cardinals are just 4 points away, and Wilmington, since getting to 15 points, has only scored 2. Cardinals, in the meantime, have scored 12.
And that looked like a clean serve to me, and they will give the point to Wilmington, Jacob. That one looked like it was in from our vantage point, really close to the back line there. However, now stands at a 21-18 match. Miller puts it in play. Caldwell's able to save it. And that one will go too far out of bounds.
That all started
Wilmington can't recover.
And that all started with a dig by Caldwell there. Wasn't going to give up on the play, decided just to go down to her knees, figuring that that would be the smartest play to make, and it was. Gets them the point. Cardinals are now 3 points away from handing the Quakers team the broom.
Into the game is Kendall Kellogg for Otterbein, as well as Lauren Blumberg. So it is a 2-point match, or excuse me, 2 points from the Cardinals, taking not only the match but the game, and sweeping Wilmington and sending them home with their 16th loss of the year, 6th in conference play. That one sails too far, and Wilmington still scrapping in this one, not going to go away quietly, Jacob.
Yeah, I don't think you can, but as we said, a very limited sideline for this Quakers team. They're trying to make the most of what they have. As we see Hurley back in the lineup.
Junger saves that one off the net, and it falls to the hardwood, and Wilmington is into the 20-point range. As Miller will retreat to the end line, and she'll look to serve this one. Excuse me, that's Hurley.
Whoa, wow, what a kill by nice. Carly Culbertson.
Otterbein 1 point away now from advancing to 21-6 on the season. And depending on what Ohio Northern does in their match tonight, moving into a tie for third place in the Ohio Athletic Conference. And point to Wilmington, as there is a net violation that time, so 3-point match here.
Of note, and this is something that Coach McDonald has to be proud of, the Cardinals have, since the end of the first set, they have had no more than 2 starting players out there on the court, and yet they were able to hand this team a 25-12 loss in the second set. Hopefully do the same here.
Setting up for the kill in the game, can't get it there. Looks like they're going to set up for Junger. They are. Junger hits it, runs into the front wall of Wilmington. And it's retaliated nicely by the Quakers. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cards try to get Junger to finish this one off here. Serve there, and that finds some hardwood, and that will end the match and end the game for the Cardinals, who win this one 3-0 over the Wilmington Quakers. The final will go down as 25-17 first set, 25-12 second set, and 25-21 in the third and final set for the Cardinals. They advance to 21-6 on the year and 4-2 in conference play. We're going to step aside for a quick break. When we come back, Jacob Barker will be down on the court to talk with Coach McDonald about the victory and to get her thoughts and feelings going forward with the remainder of the season. So stay tuned for the post game here on OTV.
Still up? Can't sleep? Looking for something to do? Come to a place where the fun never sleeps. Columbus Square Bowling Palace. It's been the premier bowling destination in Central Ohio for 30 years. With 64 lanes of bowling open 24 hours, no matter what time it is. There's always time at the Palace for fun with friends and family. Join the Night Owl regulars at Columbus Square Bowling Palace, where the fun never sleeps.
Is your body holding you back?
Where do you think you're going?
I want to go running.
Not with that knee, you're not.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
Let's not pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people in pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Fight for your mobility. Visit anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
I'll take it from here.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and one person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Who says 30 can't be fun? The Columbus Square Bowling Palace is turning 30, and the fun has just begun. Come celebrate our birthday with us. With 64 lanes of bowling open 24 hours for fun with friends and family. No matter what time it is, there's always time at the Palace. The Palace is the perfect place to hold your birthday party or corporate employee groups. Call us today to make your reservation. 30 years old and better than new, with millions of dollars in renovations at the highest rated bowling center in Columbus, the Columbus Square Bowling Palace.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Is your body holding you back?
Where do you think you're going?
I want to go running.
Not with that knee, you're not.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
Let's not pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people in pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Fight for your mobility. Visit anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
I'll take it from here.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and one person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Here at the Reich Center, where Otterbein faithful are celebrating a Cardinal victory over Wilmington. They win 3-0. The final tally goes 25-17, 25-12, and 25-21. In just a few, we will have our own Jacob Barker down on the court interviewing the victorious head coach Monica McDonald, who picked up her 135th career victory in her 7th season as the Cardinal head coach. The next time these Cardinals will take the floor will be tomorrow night when they head to Granby, Ohio for a 7 o'clock game with Denison University. And then 3 days after that, a huge matchup up in Alliance, Ohio. That one starting at 4 p.m. Saturday when they take on the Purple Raiders of Mount Union, who are currently #1 in the OAC standings and the #9 team in the nation after those new polls were released yesterday. The Cards will close out the regular season here at the Reich Center on October 29th with a game against Marietta at 7 p.m. And then the final home game of the season you can catch here on OTV. That will be the 2nd of November when the Capital Crusaders come to town for a 1 p.m. battle. Remember, 2 Saturdays from now, you can catch doubleheader action here on OTV, as we will have this volleyball game here in the morning in the AM, and then in the PM, the football team will head to the Gridiron and take on hated Capital after this Saturday's contest, where they will also take on Mount Union and try to do the impossible, be the first Cardinal team since 1976 to defeat them. So Otterbein advances to 21-6 on the year, with their substitutes playing the majority of this game. After the first set, we saw almost an entire substitution lineup, and Otterbein moves to 4-2 in conference. And depending on what happens in Ada tonight with the Ohio Northern game, they might be in a 3-way tie for the OAC standings in that championship chase and trying to win their first ever regular season OAC title, making it to consecutive NCAA tournament appearances 2 years ago and last year, trying to make it 3 straight this year. With the 21st victory, they become the 5th straight Cardinal team to win 21 in a row, a record here at Otterbein women's volleyball, a sport that dates back to 1974. And for the other side, the Wilmington Quakers, they will make the sad drive down 71 South after being shut out, and they will go home without a OAC victory to their credit. 0-6 in Ohio Athletic Conference play, 1-15 on the year. It has been a difficult year for first-year head coach Beth Floyd. As we mentioned, only 11 girls on her squad, so it's been a really rough year for her trying to get the ball rolling and trying to get volleyball as a major sport at Wilmington. Looking at some of the final statistics from tonight's match, despite the fact only playing all of the first set and about half of the third set, Annie Junger leads the way in kills. She had 9 of them to increase her impressive total for the year. She is one of the leaders in that category in the OAC, and Tabitha Piper led the team in assists today with 7, and she moves closer to the all-time school record. As we mentioned coming into this one, just 119 short of the all-time school record, which is currently held by Brooke Can. She had 3,229 of them in her career, which extended from 1999 to 2002. So for the Wilmington Quakers, the leaders in the game were Ariana Neff was the leader in kills, and assisting her was, as I look down the statistical sheet, Natalie Sparks, number 18, led the game in kills. So as we mentioned, Otterbein's next time they'll be on the hardwood tomorrow night with a matchup with Denison University, a former OAC member, and they will try to increase their winning total to 4 straight on the year and their 22nd of the year. So for Otterbein, as we mentioned, we'll take a look at some of those other OAC scores. The last time we checked, the Ohio Northern game had not yet gone underway, and we will now throw it down on the floor where Jacob Barker is with the victorious Coach McDonald, and he will interview her. Jacob, take it away.
Ready? Okay. Thanks again here, folks. I'm here with Coach Monica McDonald. Coach, you guys sweep the team 3 games to none, and you get a huge win, and a lot of it was done without your starters. You only finished with 2 starters at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that was our game plan coming in. I think that, speaks to the depth of our team, and we've been a little tired, a little beat up in some matches, this past week. So it was nice to get some players some rest and nice to see kind of the future of the program out there.
Very good. And, we talked about earlier on in the season, you'd tried the same strategy against Kenyon. Kind of backfired in a sense. Players got a little bit too relaxed. Some of them seemed a little bit uncomfortable because of their lack of experience out there. But they really, players like Carly Culbertson and a lot of the other depth players really didn't get unfazed. Tell us about how they were feeling about that.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think all of our players, maybe weren't at their best today. I think that it's hard when you know that you should beat a team, but probably definitely an improvement from the Kenyon game. But I'm a coach that's never happy, so we're still looking to improve, even though it was a 3-0 victory.
You said you're a coach that's never happy. You got a game coming up against Denison tomorrow, and then you got Mount Union on Saturday. Going to be a big weekend, I take it.
Yeah, Denison is a solid team right now. So, unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of looking ahead to Mount Union right now. I'm sure it's in the back of my players' minds, and, it's in the back of my mind too. But Denison is a really, really good team that will definitely challenge us tomorrow. So that's just where our focus is right now.
You talk about a challenging team like Denison. They finished last year with their first winning season in, I believe, since 2002, if not longer. And they didn't have any seniors. This year they got a lot more experience. They're coming off their best season in a long time. How do you prepare for that kind of team when you only have overnight?
No, I think because we've had so many challenging matches, back to back, and not a lot of time to scout opponents and things like that, I think, we just need to focus on what we need to focus on ourselves, tomorrow. And I am confident that we are the better team. It's just that if we do not bring our A game, then we could definitely come out on the losing end. But fortunately, we don't need a crazy game plan like maybe we will on Saturday, to beat them. So I feel very confident moving forward.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, that will wrap it up here from the Reich Center again. Cardinals sweep the series 3 games to none, 25-17, 25-12, and 25-21. Well, for the rest of the crew here, Aaron Reinhardt, Elijah Gonzalez, Jeff Murtaugh, and David Kinder, I'm Jacob Barker saying good night from the Reich Center, ladies and gentlemen.